a Dr. Berg video for you to have a look at. So, one of the theses that I have about dog owners is they're consuming a lot of bacteria. It's getting into their gut and it's affecting their gut microbiome, which can lead to all kinds of health problems. One of the things about dog ownership that people say all the time is, oh, it gives me oxytocin, the love hormone. Like people, they're constantly having to like get home to their dog or show you their dog or talk about their dog or get another selfie with their dog. Or if you're hanging around with a dog owner, they'll often just be focused on the dog and not you. They're always getting that oxytocin and dopamine and other neurotransmitters. But why do they need the dog for that? Your gut provides all of those. Like, you shouldn't have to constantly get another hit of dopamine or oxytocin or serotonin. And in this Dr. Berg video, he talks about how your gut microbiome affects all of those neurotransmitters. And there's something called SIBO. So let me show you just a short part of this video.
Wow. So then what happens, you lose this microbe, which also, by the way, tends to protect against small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, right? It does a lot of things in the small intestine too. And then it probably, because it's not there, then you start getting this invasion from the large intestine climbing up to the small intestine. Is that what happens too sometimes?
Exactly, yes. So loss of those beneficial species, this species of lactobacillus and others, allow the overproliferation of proteobacterium, fecal microbes like E-Coli and Klebsiella.
Okay, so he's talking about fecal microbes. I'll show you what he's talking about. SIBO. It's called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. This is happening more and more with people. I'll put some of these links in the description if you want to check it out. It's well studied and well documented. It's all related to your diet and your gut microbiomes. And when you have a dog in your house, it vastly affects your gut microbiome. There's plenty of studies about this. I'll put a couple in the description. But when you're consuming E. coli and other fecal bacteria from the presence of a dog or more and more dogs, this can really affect your gut microbiome. I've got some other videos where I covered this, and most of my videos I'm just sharing the stuff that I've looked up. But all of the symptoms that come along with SIBO, they are connected to illnesses that we're having more and more in our society. For example, little kids with diabetes and obesity, little kids that have irritable bowel syndrome, that usually only used to be like a old dude that smoked cigars and pounded down terrible food all of his life, hot dogs and sauerkraut, and hardly ever exercised. Those would usually be like the people that would have these type of symptoms. Now we're seeing it with like little kids and young people, and new cancers and diseases with young people. And those cancers and diseases are related to the epithelium layer in your gut that is getting more and more feces particles.
Have taken up residence in virtually half the U.S. population. So it's probably the worst epidemic to ever occur in our species.
So he's talking about two different things that are in your gut that we don't have anymore, mostly. This L. reuteri. Dr. Berg does a good breakdown of it earlier on. I'll just put the link in the description. It's definitely worth a watch. Even if you're not interested in dog culture, if you're interested in human health and your gut microbiome.
And there's science behind that. But so we have 24 feet of small intestine infested by fecal microbes. Now, as you recall, the small intestine is very permeable. That's where we absorb nutrients. So when those microbes that live and die over just a period of few hours, they don't live very long, they release some of the components of their cell walls, such as the endotoxic component. And that gains access to your bloodstream. That's called endotoxemia, of course, and that's a major driver of weight gain, dementia. It's probably one of the most...
Yeah, like I was saying, the obese children and other stuff like that. So having that fecal bacteria come into your mouth from your dog and then go into your small intestine, that's very bad for you. And it's also bad downstream because it kills the rest of your gut's ability to manage it, because you always have your own fecal bacteria, but when your gut can't handle it, it travels up. But also you're bringing in fecal bacteria through the ownership of a dog. And the science and medical community already knows this. They can even determine what type of dog you have in your house by doing a fecal test on on you. So definitely dog ownership is affecting gut microbiomes, and all the things that come with bad gut microbiomes are affecting, like, the age group that these things used to affect. Now they're affecting younger and younger people. The same people that are up on the couch with the dog, up in their bassinet with the dog. Dogs used to live outside in the doghouse, and now, people put dogs up on their table and counters and let their feet and everything touch all of the bedding and cooking devices in your house. And all that stuff goes right into your gut microbiome. The one thing that I found so interesting about this microbe in your gut, if you lack it, you're going to lack oxytocin. You're going to lack like a healthy level of that neurotransmitter, which means you're going to want it more. Your body is going to want it more. Kind of like getting a dopamine hit, like going on Facebook or getting a hug from somebody. It's very similar to that. So let me just show you this little part.
The small intestine. It also makes oxytocin. Oxytocin is an amazing hormone that does a lot more than we thought. It not only helps with like social bonding, but it really helps to lower cortisol, which is involved in anxiety and even depression.
Yeah. I've noticed lately is so many dog owners, like if you watch them out walking their dog and stuff, they're like super irritated, they're depressed, they need constant affirmation. Look at me, look at my dog is on Facebook. If you're hanging around them, they have to constantly be petting, stroking their dog. You can't have 10 words with them straight without them giving their dog attention. Or if you're talking to somebody and a dog person walks by with a dog, all of a sudden everyone is laser focused on the dog, and then you'll just be sitting there being ignored. And so if I look at the effects of having a healthy level of oxytocin, and then I look at the way dog owners act, it seems like they don't have a healthy supply of oxytocin. And they are constantly doing behaviors to like get that next oxytocin hit, yet it never lasts. They post up on Facebook, look at me, I have a dog. 10 seconds later, they still need more attention. And so the whole thing about oxytocin about this is very interesting, because one of the things that they constantly say in dog publications and stuff like that is, oh, dogs will boost your oxytocin. Well, they're also having another effect on your oxytocin. They're making you need a constant artificial outside hit of it, and they're screwing up your gut microbiome where you actually should be producing the oxytocin. All right, well, this has been a little video look on some gut microbiome stuff. I hope you guys like it. This isn't some definitive thing that I figured out. This is just things that I've researched as I go through this whole process. So hope you guys like it. I'll put some relative links in the description. See you later.